And good morning and welcome to the VSA Capital 5-Minute Morning Miner. It's Tuesday, the 26th of July. It's a lovely sunny day down here in Cornwall. How are you, Paul?
Well, it's not quite sunny here in London, I'm afraid. So maybe your weather's headed our way. I hope so.
Yes, it could be coming your way. And after this, I'm heading off to the golf course to play some clients. So it's work, really, isn't it?
Yep.
Work. You know, I'm with important clients.
Yep.
Anyway, let's get cracking with what news we've got in mining today. Actually, why don't we start with one, because I got a lovely email from Dr. Francis Wendin, I've probably pronounced that wrong, I apologise, Wedin, on Vulcan Energy, which is ASX listed, an incredibly successful company. Talk quite a lot about it. It's developing lithium brines in Germany, and it's got a lot of licensings approved today. I just wish that they would get a dual listing in a European market, and we'd happily do it on the Aquis exchange for an exceptionally good price, because I think there's been an awful lot of interest in this. But there you go, Francis, just give me a call. Paul, what have they actually said today?
Yeah, it's actually, well, it's not quite the same thing as getting licenses approved. It's they actually got consent from 8 different municipalities in their license area in order to allow them to proceed with the next phase of geophysical surveys across their area. And purpose of this is to specifically define best locations in order to put future wells, which is part of a pre-development scenario, which they would have to do in any event. They did also get consent, however, as you say, on a new license that would add about 24% to their total acreage holdings in this brine basin. So that's positive news for the future some years out.
Yeah, and the lithium brine players down here in Cornwall obviously are watching it with a lot of interest. So anyway, the stock's up 5% in Australia overnight, so clearly they were pleased with the way things were going. A little one I think it's worth mentioning, isn't it? Kazira Global in Namibia have put out an announcement today.
Yes, that's right. AIM quoted tantalum miner that's trying to get production started back up from what was just trial shipments previously from the Tantalite Valley mine there in Namibia. They received the first payment of $100,000 US according to terms of the financing deal they've arranged with new investors and a Chinese off-taker. And they company that the new off-taker has wasted no time in order to demonstrate their interest in this project and getting concentrates moving. So they've actually done a site visit now. And this part of the prepayments essentially going in the $100,000 received in order, as they have equipment, new plant equipment on order to be delivered during coming weeks, so that they can increase production by about 400% by Q4.
Well, it's positive, and don't forget that Tectonic Gold has shares in Kazira, so if they're doing well, it's good news for Tectonic Gold too. Do you want to mention Newmount, who had Q2 production figures actually late yesterday?
Yes, I will, but I'd like to cover our Shanghai Mining Club member first, Voyager Metals. They put out a robust preliminary economic assessment on their Mount Sorcier project in Quebec late yesterday. And just to comment for investors that this deposit lies immediately east of the town of the Chibougamau there in Quebec. So it means hydroelectric power. It means very convenient services to the mining from the mining sector in Chibougamau, as well as roads and that sort of thing. The numbers that came back on the PEA quite good, actually, here for a iron-tie vanadium mine that just on the resource within the PEA and not the total mineralization they know of. It's a 21-year life of mine, and capital cost up there about 550 million Canadian, and the life of mine strip ratio is only about 1-to-1 or so. So the numbers looking quite good here, I would say. At operating cost, $66 a ton for high-grade magnetite concentrate, 65% anticipated grade. So, yeah, the making good numbers come through here. So let's see what they can do with the PFS.
Yeah, sounds very positive, isn't it? And then quickly on to Newmont.
Yes, on Newmont, that was Q2 results for them that they had released here yesterday. And a key point there is just how dramatically the profit margin has declined. I think demonstrated by the fall in gold prices over the period from the last time they had announced results. Net income from continuing operations just 379 million versus 640 million a year ago. They produced 1.5 million attributable ounces of gold and about 330,000 of other products, co-products in gold equivalent as well. Realized gold price was 1836 an ounce versus last quarter's 1892 an ounce. They declared a second quarter dividend of 55 cents a share, which has been stable in the last 7 quarters in that regard. And they do have a share buyback program still underway at this point. So steady numbers, but definitely profit margins are lower.
Which is what we're sort of hearing across the piece, isn't it? So, but it's interesting, you know, we've been trying to say that the big miners probably had bottomed because they've come off so far, people like Rio and Glencore in the UK. And it's interesting to see they are now perking up, even though they're showing signs of production going down slightly and obviously underlying metal prices decreasing. But that's the way markets work. They anticipate the future, not what the present is. Anything else you want to mention, Paul?
Just real quickly, I wanted to mention this little exploration firm in Nevada called TSX listed Infield Minerals. They have begun a drilling program here on their Desperado gold project in Nevada, which is their primary project. This is for epithermal style Carlin hosted type gold silver sediment hosted mineralization. About a 2,000 meter program, but it's for this company, it's really significant if their structural and geologic interpretations are correct and they find something good.
Very good, Paul. Thanks. Let's call it a day there and we'll speak again tomorrow.
Okay, see you then.